Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it should be.
All right.
Thursday.
Looking here in the newspaper to get what date
Oh,
it is.
this is Friday. No, this is
Thursday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
13th. This is.
It's Friday, Wednesday the 13th, 2024. I'm here in Crilly, County Donegal, on the border of County Tyrone. Is it Owney?
That's Tyrone from Anna.
Tyrone from Anna with my cousin Owney McGoldrick. And we're going to do a little bit of the McDonough history and then get the history of Crilly. Now, do you know how my grandmother met with your aunt here? How did she meet up with the McDonoughs?
No, God, I wouldn't be too clear on that.
Right, right.
I wouldn't be too clear on that.
Is there any stories about them meeting or going to Colorado or anything?
No, God, I have no story. I wouldn't have it clear now. I suppose like that it could have been country dances maybe or something. You know,
yeah, at that time.
At that time.
Yeah. But do you know how she died? I mean, she left 5 children.
That's right, she died here.
She died in the house here?
Yeah, she did. I think she was ailing for a while now.
Uh-huh.
The husband would have been dead before her.
Yeah, he was dead before her, right.
She had 5 children, is right.
Mm-hmm.
They'd have been, Harry and Josie.
And Peter.
Peter, they'd have been about here, right bit then, like, when they were small.
Right.
And Bridget, I think Bridget and the sister, they were went to home, I think.
They went to a convent up in Derry.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Because I didn't used to hear them saying, Bridget, it was the older one, she never realised what was happening. I think she claimed that she might have died with a broken heart.
Right, that's what I heard too, that she was separated from the family.
Bridget was younger, she didn't understand probably. You know, Bridget, the sister.
Yeah.
Barry John Corey, you know.
Yeah.
But no, how they met up now, I wouldn't be too sure now.
Yeah, and do you know what she died of? Was it like tuberculosis or... She was only 35, I think, at the time.
35 or 36, that's about right.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be too sure now.
Right. There wouldn't have been much hospital care or medical care.
Not then, there wouldn't have been, no. There wouldn't have been, there would have been doctors calling, all right.
Yeah.
There would have been a doctor about that, then they would have been called down here, I used to hear them saying. No, I wouldn't be too sure now what. I think she'd have been here quite a while before she died.
And what is the history of Crilly? I mean, I guess up until that stage, the border didn't come into effect until when? 21?
21 or 22, right, that's right.
And then...
it was all the one then, like that.
Yeah.
All the one.
Yeah. And what effect did that have on the farm here when the border was set up?
Oh, it did, surely, because then what they called the smuggling was started then. You couldn't, the custom-men were on the borders on both sides.
Uh-huh.
And I do remember telling, if you had a car here in Crilly, if you wanted to go to Castlederg, you had to go by Pettigo. You got a book, a bond book, and there was a custom-man there at the hut in Pettigo. He had a stamp it for you. And you went, if I was only going over across the border, I needed to have that book stamped. Right. And I had to come back that way again. And me living beside the next town line.
Yeah.
I've been awful different.
And how was it blocked? I remember during the Troubles with the big pilings that were, but in 21 what was it blocked?
I think
they blew up the roads or?
No, they just tossed them with just manpower would have tossed them with crowbars and picks. You know, they wouldn't have been blasted then, no.
But it would have been the Northerners that blocked the road, not the Southerners. Who blocked the road? It was the North.
The British government.
Yeah.
Oh, God is right. No, surely.
Yeah.
Because I remember in the last Troubles we used to fix up the borders, and then they come then and they used to blow it up again then.
Right.
We had it several times that you could cross out of the car. But then they always come back again and blew it up. Yeah. If they didn't blow it up, they dug it up.
And what was the main thing for smuggling? What were the main products that were smuggled?
Back in my young days now, I did mostly cattle.
Right.
Sheep and cattle, because if you bought them in the States, if you get them figured out, you could have a better price for them.
In the North? In the North,
because if they went to the hut, they were stamped in this sort of crack. So they were,
Yeah.
They were better price if their ears were free, sort of thing. you know, more money for them.
So they weren't tagged or anything, so they couldn't tell that they came where they came from.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, they weren't tagged. But I'll tell you what they used to do. The police in the north, they would come round and check your cows, and just strange things. They said there was a lot of cows used to have twin calves. You see, that covers for a state calf. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, and then when you got them up there was no problem selling them, even though they knew you were from the south if you were at the mart.
Oh no.
The mart didn't care.
No problem. But as long as you were able to cover for them, as long as you had a cow to cover for them, or there's a one calf, or that you bought them off a neighbour or something in the north.
Right.
You know. Oh no trouble selling them in the north. But if you were them Northmen now that would be shown in the fairs then, they would be policemen about the road, and they would be checking them going into the fair to make sure that that you were able to cover for them on.
Right. And then what was the penalty if you were caught smuggling cattle?
Oh God, jail. A fine. If you weren't able to pay the fine, you'd on jail.
Is that right?
Oh, aye.
And in Enniskillen or Belfast or where?
My uncle was in for a while in McManaman.
Right.
He was caught smuggling. He done the time, and then
where did he do his time then?
I think it'd have been Derry, I suppose.
Yeah.
But then he didn't. I think the fine was reduced a wee bit then. He got out a wee bit earlier because they were able to pay some of the fine money.
Right. And did they confiscate the cattle then?
Oh, aye. Oh, God.
So you lost the cattle and fined and everything.
Oh, aye. Oh, God, aye.
Yeah.
Oh,
and what about bringing sheep to the north or south?
Sheep was much the same. Much the same as well.
Right.
Seems there's mostly cattle now. I remember mostly cattle.
Right.
See, back in the old days, there wasn't many sheep about this country. Mostly cattle was smuggled out.
Right.
Oh,
and then was this house and this townland used as a way station for other people smuggling?
They used to.
They would bring them here and then wait and then bring them across the border.
This was one of the farms, and Packy Jim's farm was another one. Packy Jim, remember?
McGrath, yeah.
They used to dump them out there. They'd go out to Killetter and out across the border there.
And then how were they able to know when to move the cattle? I mean, how were the communications? There wouldn't have been walkie-talkies or anything.
No.
But how did you know when it was safe to move?
The men watching the road. The police would have known where you crossed the roads. Then, you know, what's the cattle? There'd be men. You'd giving a man a few shillings to keep an eye on the road.
Right.
And if there was any police hanging about or standing about, he would give some news to you.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't cross them, you know. Oh no.
Yeah. And did you ever did your father ever get in trouble with that, Owney?
Oh no, but he had lost cattle.
He did?
Oh, he did, aye. And the McHughes was crossed there too. They had to put them out, somebody was taking them out for them. And they were seized then. They never got the rest of the destination. No.
And that was a huge loss to the family, I mean.
Oh God.
It was a lot of money.
Oh, aye. There was one awful seizure, and I would say Rosie might remember some of it. I think there was over 30 cattle. The police got over 30 cattle.
From one farm or different farms?
Oh no, different, but there'd been different owners.
Right.
But the four men that was driving, there was I think you're Peter McDonough, and Jimmy Monaghan, Jimmy Sean, Francie Donnelly, and another fella, Peter Shimore, I think they called him. They didn't run. They stayed with the cattle.
Right.
And there was 4 policemen there. They battled with the policemen.
Oh, they fought with the police?
Aye.
Yeah.
They didn't run. But it would have been safer run because as one of them got freed, there were 4 policemen and 4 people as far as the story goes.
Yeah.
But once one man got free, he went off. That left 4 policemen then to 3.
3, yeah.
And it finished up that there was only one man left, was Jimmy Monaghan.
My uncle or no?
It's the cross collection.
So from the Monaghan's of the Cross.
The Cross.
Right.
He was the only man, Jimmy was left. And then he was taken to jail. And he was fined, I think his father was fined somewhere around about £1,000.
Jeez, that was a lot of money.
All this. But it finished up not so bad for him. Apparently there had to be a document signed every year. His father would have bailed him out.
Yeah.
On £1,000 bail. But whatever happened, it had to be renewed every year. And there was some old boy died, the story I heard. They forgot to
Renew it.
renew it.
Yeah.
And Jimmy got the wire. He hopped into the state.
Uh-huh.
He went to the state and he joined the Free State Army. So Jimmy was free and his father was free.
Right.
They forgot to renew the bail.
Yeah. So it was almost like jumping bail. He was going into the free
So Jimmy
state.
was in the Free State Army for a long time then.
Yeah.
But I suppose after a number of years it was all squashed then.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of. But they said a lot of the cattle that were seized would have been informers.
Informers for the cattle. And then how were they being driven? Was it by cattle truck or was it over land by foot? Like you were saying, how did they get the cattle to the mart? Was it by foot or did they have lorries or anything?
No, they wouldn't. The cattle wouldn't have went direct to the mart.
Right.
They went to the different people that were standing for them.
Oh, okay.
And then when the fairs come along, they able to show them. They'd have got a few pound maybe for selling. No, they'd have been all drove.
So different farms in Tyrone and Fermanagh.
That's right.
They would have been driven to that.
To them places. Right.
So there was a network of people that for the smuggling.
That's right.
But then the police would have known a lot of this too. I mean, they all live in the area themselves.
Well, they said a lot of it was information they got.
Yeah.
If you were to say an informer was well paid.
Yeah.
They say he was well paid. But they told one about a man called Charlie Simpson. He was a smuggler as well. And Charlie had 2 cattle. It was wrong. And he had another brother, Frank. And they got somewhat about Charlie having these smuggled cattle.
Yeah.
And he got the brother. He corn, sheaves of corn. He got the cattle into the house, into the bedroom or something of a house.
Yeah.
And he had the brother in with the cattle, and he was feeding them sheaf corn.
Yeah.
And the police come and couldn't search the land, searched other houses, but they didn't search the dwelling house. The cattle was in the dwelling house, and Frank and Charlie got away. Aye, that was the move. Aye, that's a true story.
Yeah.
Aye.
Now, I remember with Jimmy, now during the Troubles, we used to just travel to the north, and there used to be a van there where you could buy butter, milk, and stuff like that. I don't know, it was Atkinson or something like that. And then you would bring it across the border without claiming it. But what was that all about?
Well, your uncle.
Yeah, my Uncle Jimmy.
Aye. Oh, they used to come a van up to this border here, the whole border, and enter the one. Well, that time the stuff would have been a lot cheaper in the north.
Yeah. Like what?
Oh, bread and flour.
And butter.
Oh, butter, aye. You see. But you had to be careful coming across anything, because if the customs car was about the road, they would have stopped you.
So the Free State Customs now were looking for you
Customs.
coming the other way.
That's right.
Because I remember Jimmy would buy from a van not far from here, and then this is at night. He would turn the headlights off so he couldn't be seen coming over the mountain and back to Lettercran.
That's right.
And did you do that? Did you?
I used to be with them now and again too.
Right.
Oh,
So you were getting your butter and milk from them too.
God.
So who was selling that at that time?
Well, the van that we mostly went to was up here. He come up from Killen. He'd have been a Protestant as well.
Yeah.
We used to nip up across the border. But he come mostly in daylight, and it was easy for us. We come in down the hill, and we could see that the roads were clear and there was nothing about, so we were safe enough.
Right. And that's how. So the smuggling was going 2 ways.
Oh,
the cattle heading north, and then the milk, flour, and butter was coming south.
That's right.
And then what was the fines coming south by the Free State? What were the customs men charging there? I mean, did they confiscate the food?
They just took the stuff, was right.
Yeah.
And paid a fine as well. Oh God, they did surely. There's something else I was going to say there.
About smuggling.
But that might come to me.
Yeah. What would have been the items that were smuggling besides cattle, sheep, butter, milk, and bread? Were there any other items?
Later on then, the sugar was scarce in the north. They used to smuggle the sugar from the state out into the north. And at the time that the butter was going the other way as well.
Would this been the war years, maybe?
Oh, aye, aye.
Yeah,
Aye.
during the war.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
aye. Oh, aye. Oh, man, they used to come boys from up around Carrick and Donegal country. They'd have left, they always had 4 stone of sugar with them. There's a good carriage away to up at Donegal. They had that on your back.
So they walked?
Oh, aye, oh God, aye, they would walk, aye.
So they would walk from the Free State with 4 stone up to Drumquin.
That's right. But they'd have been from Donegal and they could cross down into the state and bought the sugar in the state and walked back again. Oh, aye. You'd be taking an awful chance if you went the road, like.
Yeah.
You could be way lucky if it wouldn't get away.
So they took to the fields, did they?
Took the field. Oh, aye, fields is right.
Wow.
That's right.
That's.
Oh, aye. Oh, it was rare.
And there wasn't that much money, but whatever little you could make off it, there was something anyway.
Oh, aye.
Like there was no pensions or stuff like that, was there? Or dole or anything like that?
Very little, very little, no. Very little. Even nowadays, pension wasn't very much good then, I don't know.
Yeah, so you needed to make money some other way.
That's right, aye.
Yeah.
But then fellas that would go out with a 4 stone of sugar, they were able to sell maybe a little bit of that sugar to some of their neighbours then.
Yeah, to make the money back.
The money back.
And everything. And did Crilly come into when the troubles were on with the IRA and the RUC and everything? Was there any troubles around this area?
Oh, well, there was, surely. I remember us listening to, this was out at the Black Yap when my aunt lived, what they call the Black Yap. It was Tyrone again in Donegal. We could have heard there was a battle going on between them. We could have heard the bullets and the shots going off.
Right. And did you worry during that time, or?
No, we didn't seem to know. Yeah. We didn't seem to know.
Yeah, you just. So it was good when they finally removed the barriers here.
Oh, Lord.
That just made life easier for everyone.
Oh my God! I might imagine you, if you had an own car then and you were living here, and you wanted to go around to the Blacktown.
Yeah.
You had to go up to Pettigo first.
Yeah, and
you had to have this book with you to get stamped.
Yeah, that you were going into.
If you were caught out, you could lost your own car.
They would take the car.
Aye. If you hadn't the book and it's stamped.
Yeah. So it was a hard time when that border went up.
It was hard, right.
Yeah. It was just.
Oh, it was sure to God. I know that the men that drove the cattle across the mountains, it was slavish business. They got a bit of money out of it. It was slavish business too, John Joe.
Yeah.
Slavish after night, you know. It was great. It was great when the barricades were lifted and.
Yeah. Some of your family were telling me about. There's a story about a gun in this house. Is there? Well, what was the story about that?
That was a sort of a. It was one of these short.
Pistols.
Chip-line, aye.
Yeah.
They had it.
Who hit it?
It had been my grandfather would have had it.
Was he involved with the troubles?
No, it must have happened, but it's come in useful till one day. They used to go from here then years and years ago before my time, down from Horse and Chart from here to Strabane for stuff, feeding stuff. That was before the border found. But this particular day, anyway, they developed somebody with them. This day, nobody with them. And they were down between, say, Castleberg and Strabane early in the morning. These 2 boys stepped out, one each of the horse, to rub them.
Highwaymen. Highwaymen.
Highwaymen, that's right.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't been, you see, that time if you had £5 that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Christ almighty. So he had, that particular day, he had a little thing with him. And he pulled it out, he fired it over the boy's head. They weren't long disappearing. He disappeared. Oh, that's good, I think, the thing. Then it disappeared. They were foot thinking about here one day, my Uncle Jimmy and them, and some of them lifted it and says, "I'll snap." I think he had to use a cap or something to get to go. He says, "I'll snap a cap at you." Christ, the bloody thing was loaded.
Right.
No, someone's doing it. And then there's a hearth fire at him. Yeah. He put the shot into the blue ashes and lovely buckets thing around. It shot him.
Yeah. And do you still have that gun?
I think it's bits of it lying out here yet.
Yeah, just let me follow you anyway.
No, I'll have to go out this door here.
Yeah.
I just when they were doing a roof one time. they were doing a roof one time, and they come across this on the wall plate, and they said that this could be the same gun. See, it's just fallen for them.
Oh,
That would have been the same thing. Well, after that, then it was hid, and they got it up on the wall plate years and years and years.
Now, who got it? Who got it in the wall
It would have
plate?
been my father or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But they said that. Do you want me to hold that for you?
No, I got it. I got it right here. Yeah, you can put it back now. I can show. We'll go back in and finish the story.
Yeah, that would be the same little one. That'd be going back some years ago. That thing would be some age now.
Yeah. 100. You wouldn't get in trouble now for it anyway. It's more of a souvenir
That's it.
than active anyway.
That's it. But I must tell you then, you know, the rock man Jimmy, my uncle, your granduncle, and he took over in the Blacktown, you see. To Harry come of age.
Right.
When Harry come to 21, then he took over. But while Jimmy and them was in the Blacktown, and some of Jimmy's family was born down there, but Harry was hired out with some boy, I think his name is Carolyn. Harry was only a young lad.
So these were at the hiring fairs that they used to have.
Yeah,
that you would hire out, and they were orphans at the time.
But it wouldn't have been at a hiring fair. It would have been just between Jimmy, his uncle, and this child.
Oh, so it was a family thing. They hired him out.
So he went to work, but now there would be no holiday. He left. He pulled out and left and come back here. Made his way back here again.
Right.
And because for some day anyway, some long time after, he some of them looked out. Because they seen these two men coming. One of them turned out to be Carolyn, and the other turned out to be, as we call him, the Rockman, Jimmy McGoldrick.
Right.
He's known as the Rockman. They were coming looking at Harry.
To take him back to the farm to work.
Back to the farm.
Right.
Harry got the wood anyway, and sometime after there'd been an old thrasher going around, thrashing the corn.
Yeah.
And when they had the corn thrashed for safety, they carried some of the bags up the stairs to the back loft for safety, because there'd been rats about, you see, and they would cut them. So Harry, he got up the stairs, raced you up the stairs, got into the back loft, and got in between the bags of corn. And the two boys arrived in and inquired at my mother. Then she was here then.
Yeah.
About Harry, she said, she said he was about somewhere, but she didn't know where he was. She said he was about. They searched the house, searched all the rooms. Christ, they missed Harry. Harry he got juked in between the bags of corn.
Yeah.
Aye.
But Jesus, those were hard times, huh?
Hard times. I suppose the poor lad would have been starved. There would no money, maybe. There'd be no chat about money, or so he was getting about date or something like that.
Yeah.
It's
It's almost like, well, an indentured servant, or almost slavery. Not quite slavery, but an indentured servant he would have been.
Yeah.
He would have been an indentured servant.
That's...
But my father was telling me too, he worked for one of the McGoldricks, this thing, out the road there. He just said it was just unbelievable.
Oh, that's right. They got about date and...
Yeah, it was some way to live. But it was very sad the way they broke up the family. The three boys were allowed to stay here, but the two sisters had to go to a convent in Derry, or an orphanage.
It was a pity that they just split them apart. They said that, they always said, they were saying that she died from a broken heart.
Yeah.
She understood Bridget was younger, she didn't understand.
Yeah. And Bridget stayed there till she was 18.
That's right.
And then she was released.
She got away then, and she went away. She worked in Belfast for a long time then.
Yeah.
It was sad now. I don't know. No, you see, back then they'd have been talking, but then we'd have been little small boys, and there'd have been some things chatted about that we wouldn't have heard, and we wouldn't have heard, or we wouldn't be supposed to hear.
So now you've spent most of your life out here, and then Jimmy spent it in Lettercranny. You both ended up being bachelors Was that a conscious decision, or just how did that? Why did that work out like that?
I never had. Well, I had a few girlfriends, all right, but nothing serious. But then the trouble was then, in my case, I was 28 when I went to England. It was a sort of desperation sent me to England.
Yeah.
I was working on the land. There was no money. I was getting damn all. And I went to England. I was able to earn a bit of money then. But Jimmy had girlfriends, sure to God, and several girlfriends that I knew. And there was one girlfriend that would interest Jimmy, and they're two wonder women now. The two, you remember Roddens?
Yeah.
Mary and Margaret.
Yeah.
The eldest one would have been keen on Jimmy now, but then Jimmy was living with his mother, you see.
Yeah.
And that was a problem then. For Jimmy to move out and take a house himself, that was a big thing then.
Yeah, and he was the only one left. Everyone had left.
Everyone left, is right.
Yeah.
But them two lasses, they're two widow women now.
Mm-hmm.
And they still come to the dance. There's three dances in the Grand Hall now.
Yeah.
They still come to the dances, the two widow women now. And they've got two partners, Mary and Margaret.
Right.
God, they sounded good. You'd still know them if you met them. Now, you used to kill in Rod.
Yeah. I used to be with Jimmy going
That's
to
right.
them. It's sad.
And Ned Scott, remember Ned
Oh
Scott?
my God, the Cuckoo Man, Ned Scott,
Johnny
and
Hillard.
everything, and Jimmy Hillard.
That's right. That's true.
I remember all of them, but
But then you used to come boys home with you. Oh, they'd be gone. You'd have lost touch with them. Man, I used to know some of their names. They used to come on holidays to Jimmy's. I mean, 3 of them come a long time.
yeah.
The Jimmy's, they stayed in Jimmy's.
Yeah. No, people liked it back here, but it's very lonely now, is it? There's nobody living in this end of Donegal. Like everybody either immigrated or died off.
Oh, that's right. I remember here in the town down in Crilly, I could have counted over 40 people.
Yeah.
Now there's only Alan Sims and me.
Right.
Two
And you know what? I read the census for Cashellini. Cashellini had up to 1,000, and there's nobody there now. Well, except for the Hillies.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You can get that online on there.
Yeah, you get the online census, and you can see how many lived in an area.
That's right.
But everyone here just immigrated, like the rest of the country.
If they didn't die yet, they immigrated.
Yeah. Now, when you went to England, where did you go in England? Where did you go in England?
I went to a place called Wiltshire. Wiltshire. It is beside Stonehenge. Stonehenge. And they were doing a roof, and the crowd that I was with, they were putting on new roofs on.
This is after World War II.
Oh, this would be long after. This was in 60. I would have been 50. I think it was 58.
58.
58. And when we were working for it was an army crowd. We were working for the Remy, they called them the Royal Engineers or something. And, they put on a new roof.
Did you like it in England?
Oh, I did. I liked it all right.
And what made you come back?
Well, then I'll come back. Used to come. Every day I'd come in the springtime and help when I cutting the turf and one of the hay. But then I come this time. Then Packy John, he was anxious to go, so I stayed at home then. And Packy John went away to earn a few pounds.
Yeah. And then Cassie went over.
Oh, Cassie and Sarah Murray. She used to be. They were there then for a long time. There was 4 of us in England one time.
Right.
Around London area. But our job was to send the rest of the job because we travelled a lot from north of Scotland down to Southampton. I think you could be anywhere.
Yeah.
In Wales.
And then, where did you live? Where was it?
We were just in lodges.
The bed sits or something.
Digside, they call it lodging Digside.
Yeah.
Well, I made the first digs I was in £5 a week.
Right.
I was getting £14 a week. I paid then £5 for the lodgings.
Yeah.
But that covered your breakfast and dinner and all when you come home in the evening.
Right. So that was it was good value for the £5.
Oh God, aye.
Yeah. You wouldn't get that now.
No, that's right.
£5. Yeah.
So that was the choice. No, I liked it.
And was Jimmy and Cassie ever an item? Did they ever go out?
Jimmy.
And my uncle Jimmy and Cassie, your sister.
No, Jimmy never left. The only time he left, He had an uncle in Isle of Man.
Yeah, that's right. It was in World War One.
He was over.
Yeah.
He was over to Isle of Man for a while.
Yeah. I remember.
And then he went the time that the uncle died. Jimmy went over then.
Yeah.
Jimmy went. He was in New York for a holiday, short.
Well, he did. We had him over in
That's
New
right.
York and he said he was glad he came over because now he says now I know I don't want to immigrate.
No.
He didn't like it at all.
Why do you say that?
Yeah. So he got that out of him because I think he might have been a little bit bitter that everyone had left and he was the only one.
And then him and the mother, you see.
Yeah.
And then I suppose the poor mother, they wouldn't like to leave her on her own either, you see.
Yeah, Mary Jane. Yeah.
But the time of the funeral, just one of Susanna's lasses was telling me, Jimmy had passed for the guards.
Right.
In the States.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I've heard some sort of story on that.
Passed for the guards. But it passed for the guards and the letter come, but Jimmy never got it.
Yeah, and what happened on that?
The mother.
The mother took the letter.
She didn't like she was going to be on her own.
Yeah, so she
Jimmy,
never gave him the letter.
You remember, Jimmy was a fine cut of a fella.
Yeah, no, I know.
He was over 6 foot.
Yeah.
You used to line him up with the some of them wilders there anyway. They liked them. No, Jimmy passed for the guards, but the man died and never knew.
Man. Oh, so he didn't, even up to his death, he never knew.
He never knew.
Oh my God.
He knew because the mother didn't. She must have held on to the letter.
Yeah.
And I suppose if Jimmy had left, she was on her own then.
Yeah.
She was an older woman then.
Yeah. Oh
So that was Jimmy's story. Oh God, Jimmy was he was a good work. You know, that house now. You know the house.
Yeah.
Jimmy dug out the foundation for that with a spade, and wheeled the stuff away in the barrow. And he made all the blocks for it himself.
Yeah.
Got the stuff from Scrahy Quarry. Made every block for himself.
Yeah.
It was a Brady fella then come and helped him to build it. Jimmy was a good worker.
Yeah.
Oh,
But he was always glad to get out of Castleny.
yeah.
He didn't like Castleny at Lochnageig.
Oh, no.
He was always very glad to move to Lettercraft.
That was a good move, all right.
Yeah.
It was a good move.
Because that's a tough place to get in and out of, isn't it?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I was far away in from the road. But I often thought Mary Jane, his mother, that lived on the roadside, it was some move for her way back in into the law. She must have thought it changed then.
And the only source of employment would have been Lough. Did you ever work on Lough?
Never got Lough. But I used to get an odd spell in the council here. You know, what they call the council, edging the roads and cleaning water.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
No, because my mother worked there and all her sisters worked on Lough.
That's right.
But they found it good that they got off the farm to work on Lough.
That's right.
Yeah.
But Lord, it was tight going then.
Yeah.
Oh,
the pilgrimage, you mean?
But even for the lasses that were working there, it was run by old nuns.
Yeah.
Nuns. And you were in there and you said you might get out one day or so. Now it's a kind of a holiday place now.
The thing, but once you went on the island, you didn't get off it.
Didn't
like,
get off it, right.
Yeah.
So,
so they ran it pretty strict then.
Oh God, that's right. That's true. Oh God, that's right. I guess it's true. Oh God. What a different story now.
So you're going to finish your time out here in Crilly?
Oh,
is this it?
Yeah. I'll be like, you chat about package him, but he didn't. He used to say package him would live in the box, but he didn't live in the box.
No.
You were never in his place, and
yes, I was.
Yeah,
I've been up to his place up there. Jimmy used to take me up there.
But
not in Ballybuffet.
No. Oh God, his grand house there now in Ballybuffet.
Yeah. He's glad.
Oh.
Well, do you have any other stories? I'm going to wrap up now, and get this up on YouTube. You'll be able to watch it with the family.
God, that's how could it be? Oh, my father, Ellen, married fairly young, the cross woman, Ellen, my aunt, that was married to the pub man.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And then she was married very young, and my father married then. How would I say that? Anyway, Ellen's first son would have been Eddie. There wasn't much different age between him and my mother and my father.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
They married. But he kidnapped, you could say he kidnapped them. One day they were up, they used to kill it through other, you see. Them two crossmen, their names is on a census paper here. Patrick, John James, and they were here the night of the census, and their name was put out on the census.
Oh.
Wherever you stayed that night, but anyway, getting back to the story again, but my father was up on the cross, and of course, Eddie, or it would have been Eddie, he left him out, and he took Eddie on home with him down here. Because then Eddie went missing.
Yeah.
And it was a very wet day, and then they had to cross and they had steps, no bridge, steps. Then the whole worry was then, the boys, how did they get across the river? And they got across the river and they could have been drowned. My father got Eddie on his back. He stepped across the river, across the steps, and took him in here.
Right.
But eventually found out that Eddie was safe enough. But it's an awful transaction. But he didn't understand what he was doing, I suppose.
Yeah.
You must have been out.
Yeah. It was very dangerous.
Dangerous.
Yeah. That's it.
Aye. Oh, there'll be, I suppose, there'll be other wee stories when you leave.
Yeah, of course. But well, listen. Just look this way and just give your name and what age you are, and into the camera there. Just look this way.
This way.
Just say your name and how old you are.
You see,
what year you were born.
I was christened. My name was Owen. I was christened Owen, but then with my father being Owen, they called me Owney.
Yeah.
I was born on the 24th of March, 1931. If I lived to the 24th of March, I'll be 93.
93.
Oh, I speak to this thing.
Yes, yeah, that's been recording it.
If I lived to the 24th of March, the coming, I'll be 93.
Yeah.
And I must say, I had reasonably good health. I had a heart attack about 10 or 12 years ago.
Right.
So I survived that. And I must say, I've reasonably good health. I wouldn't sleep that well, but I can eat fairly good, you know, and apart from that, I'm lucky now, I suppose, it's a good age to be.
Yeah, well, and in good health too, that's the other thing.
That's right, and I can still...
But did you ever drink or smoke?
No.
You did neither one?
No, but I'll tell you, when I used to go to the Blacktown, Jimmy and Ned Scott and them and me, I would have a few cigarettes there, but I didn't smoke till I went back again. I never smoked in daylight.
Yeah.
I never liked the cigarettes, just for the company I would take a cigarette.
You would just do that, but you never drank.
No,
were you a pioneer?
I had a pen up while.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't have stopped me, I suppose, because in my young days there was plenty of Poitin about here.
Yeah.
You know, and I suppose that kind of put me off too. I seen men about here drunk, and you know, you wouldn't have knew what they were saying.
Yeah.
They were that drunk. It was feast or famine that, and they made the Poitin out in the mountains, and then as long as it lasted, they drunk it.
Right.
You know.
Wasn't good stuff. And that would have been brutal stuff too.
Oh, if it was well made, they say it was good.
Yeah.
But then there was some men not very good at it. And then some men made it for sale, and then they sold it, you see.
Yeah.
Oh, God. But apart from that, no, I can't complain. I had very good health now.
All right, I'm going to finish that up. I'd like to thank you, Owney.
Just
turn this off and see.
Oh, God, you never know. Maybe we might